whenever we are setting up GCC or any of these things, all of these frameworks, etc., are just guidance. The most important thing is the human to human relationship and the trust. We said that India is just another office. They will be part of the global ecosystem and have a seat at the table in all of the decision making framework. So never ever think that the GCC is in isolation and can really kind of drift away or can be without the parentship.
I'm delighted to have today with us the country head of Curriculum Associates, Rajeev Kapoor, who was previously the country head at Finestra and had a distinguished over 15-year career at Dell. Rajeev, welcome to this episode.
Thank you, Atul, and thank you for having me here.
So, Rajeev, let's just get into it. When you think about the building or scaling of a global capability center, what did you learn the hard way that no framework, no report actually taught you?
So I think, as they say, common sense is the most uncommon thing. And whenever we are setting up GCC or any of these things, all of these frameworks, etc., are just guidance. The most important thing is the human to human relationship and the trust. And whenever any organization plans to set up an overseas office, right now we call it GCC, and India is probably in the limelight and all of that. But think about it at any global location. The global leaders, whichever company is thinking about, is taking a leap of faith. They want to really have an extension of their business in a different geography, which probably they may not be very familiar with. And that's where I think that trust and really alignment with the mission comes into play. I think understanding that early on really sets on the right path, which I think we really kind of get missed out in all these business cases and all these strategic decks and all of this. But I think that's the key starting point and a very important ingredient.
So it's a really good point. Look, you got to stay in line with the mission. So when you go back to some of the early decisions in your GCC journey, Rajeev, what is a call that you made, a decision you made about how work gets governed, how work gets delivered, that really ended up mattering even years later?
Great question, Atul. So one of the things that we did right early on, and this was a completely new thing, Curriculum Associates has been in existence over 50 years. And when we decided to do an India office a couple of years ago, we really had to think through what really works in our cultural context. We are a very, very mission-driven company. Our mission is to make classrooms a better place for students and educators. Now, that mission needs to get extended. First thing that we really did was completely guiding principles of what we will do and what we will not do. And it's very important to also really decide on what we'll not do. So some of the guiding principles that I can share is, we said that India is just another office. They will be part of the global ecosystem and have a seat at the table in all of the decision-making framework. And that is very, very crucial, so that it's not just the peripheral work that we do.
Right.
The second was, we said, hey, to start with, we'll all need to learn the business. Curriculum Associates doesn't serve India as a market right now. So we'll all work together with a local leadership. Now that was a temporary thing, and we'll then pivot as time progresses. So some of these were very clear guiding principles. We did agree that this is not like an order-taking shop. It's not one-offs that we'll do. We'll build capabilities. And I think those are the things that really helped us as we really reflect on our journey back. We are still early in the phase.
Yeah, Rajiv, I still remember in 2001 when my team supported the first GCC we set up, used to call them captives, and it was regarding benefits administration of US companies like 401ks. Nobody in India knew what those were, and we had to do something extremely similar, which is together build that capability. So, Rajiv, when you look at the operating models for GCCs that have traditionally been built, they were built for cost arbitrage and volume. And today, very clearly, the priorities have changed to capability building, talent, speed, and particularly business-driven outcomes. Where are you seeing this play out most sharply? And where do you think leaders are getting something wrong about it?
The way I have seen GCCs evolved in the India market, yes, it all starts with cost is a ticket to entry. If the
Yeah.
cost advantage is not there, it doesn't make sense to set up the GCC. So let's not forget or take that out of the equation. But the other piece then comes is what is the value you add to the organization? So in our journey, a short journey, we quickly pivoted in the first 12 months itself that all of us started thinking about business impact.
Yeah.
And the moment all leaders or all team members in India think about our product, about our customers from a lens that any of their colleagues in the US would be thinking about, their discussions change, their approach change, and then they solve problem. So what I have seen really work well is around pivoting to business impact. And I think that if we really kind of start building out different matrices for different offices, that is wrong. You have to really look at what is if it's renewal rate for your customer, whatever business value you add. I think that really works well. In my opinion, if you start thinking of separate ways and other things of measurement, that's what probably is at crossroads.
You started with, look, aligning to the business mission and the outcomes you're looking for is what is the impact you're making on the business. So Rajeev, you talked about technology. Look, very clearly, AI is on everybody's mind, massive, potential. Talk to me about where are you seeing AI genuinely making a change today, and where is it that you're seeing leaders getting it wrong?
So I think it's probably a little early to call out a decision on this, but whatever experience everybody has had so far has been, at least in my exposure with a lot of companies around here, you have to first drive adoption, which everybody invests in. We as a company also invested 2 days of AI fluency days training. You then have to enable them and make sure that all inhibitions around using AI gets off the table. But then very quickly, you have to start seeing that AI is being used for certain business value drivers. And I think once you really identify that, that's the right use of AI. You have to make sure that the human in the loop and the accountability of an output resides with an individual rather than people just kind of putting everything on relegating to AI without really taking ownership. And I think that has been our experience, which is really using AI in a responsible way. We are in the business where we deal with a lot of stuff with students and educators. Our approach has been to really have a responsible use of AI,
Yeah.
especially kind of making sure that the students get the right outcomes.
Yeah. Rajiv, one of the things I keep talking about that I think in this area helps is I think you have to imagine the art of the possible, but at the same time, you have to think about governance. And I think to your point, the responsible use absolutely resonates with me. So as these operating models are shifting, Rajiv, what kind of leader do you think a GCC needs to have to be able to succeed? And what do you think there's anything that's tough about this transition as we think about the next move?
Great question. So some of the things which are very, very important for any leaders to succeed, especially in a fast changing world, is to be adaptable, is to be open to change. And again, we have to really kind of re-question and revisit the ways we operate.
Yeah.
Especially in our company, when we were really going on an AI journey just about 8-9 months ago, I was having a leadership offsite where I had to train my leaders on AI. Whom did I call? I called in some bunch of interns who were really smart, who are in our company. And I said, okay, these are the guys that we learn from. So I think learning comes from all angles.
Yeah.
Leaders have to be open for a change. And I think once that is in place, I think we have to all navigate through it, be vulnerable. And again, there will be places we'll go wrong. So fail fast, learn soon, but move on. That's the kind of attitude that we need rather than people getting bogged down with kind of failures or any of that.
Right. That's good advice, Rajiv. So Rajiv, let me end with a question. So when you think about the future success and GCC leadership, what is one belief that you think leaders need to let go of to be relevant, 2, 3, 5 years from now?
So never ever think that the GCC is in isolation and can really kind of drift away or can be without the parentship. The GCC is an extension of the parentship. So making sure that the strategic alignment, teams kind of alignment is towards that overall business outcome is very, very crucial.
Yeah.
Many times we kind of try to build or kind of think that there are certain things with all good intent that we can kind of deliver on the side, which is not really helping the overall organizational outcome, is where do not go right. And I think for any leader to make sure that the teams are aligned, and as long as they are delivering business impact, I think it's going to be a win-win.
Yeah. So Rajeev, very clearly, your experience shows, and I want to leave the audience with some of the key messages you talked about is, focus on the company's mission, aligning to the business objectives and making sure it's business impact that the GCC actually delivers as part of the overall organization. Rajeev, thank you so much for making time for us today.